guys, it's Liv Sims here, and today I'm going to be showing you a build that I did for my Let's Play in the world of Sulani that we got with Island Living. I did this on the 30 by 20 lot on the Lagoons look, which in my last video I said look out, but it's just look. I don't know why they did it that way, but this home actually comes in at around 63,047 simoleons. So it is a pretty cheap build. It's something that any sim can really achieve if they play, without cheats or with, whichever. And it is in the Iohan town of Sulani. I gave it a couple of traits, just like great acoustics and party place, just because I know Kai, the twin brother, he wants to be the biggest party animal, and he is a music lover, so I decided to give him some home traits to make that go a little bit easier for him. Plus, I do want to have a lot of locals come over for kava parties and things like that during my Let's Play, which I have started, but I haven't posted it yet. It's been really fun just to kind of play the world with them and, just kind of rediscover everything. I haven't really played the physical game of The Sims in a long time, so to rediscover all of the cool little, odd things that happen when you play is going to be really fun and exciting. This home is a 3-bed and 1 bath. Comes with a full kitchen. Instead of doing an indoor eating area, I did an outdoor one just because I felt like it would look a lot nicer to eat by the ocean, for sure. And it also has a living room. I also gave them a boat and a huge patio, wraparound patio that they can. I did a meditation thing out there. I did a couple of lounge chairs, some couches, a bunch of things that they can do outside so they don't always have to stay cooped up inside, and I don't know why you would want to. I mean, the world is just gorgeous. I've been playing a little bit with my own sim self, and she's just been having a ball just doing all the fun, crazy things, and it's just been really fun to kind of see what came with this expansion. Like I said, starting out with the home, I did want to do another bathroom, but there was just like no space for it that made any sense to me. Obviously, floor plans I would say are not my strong suit. I really have tried to change that and work on it, and sometimes I do 4 different floor plans before I just decide to stick with one. So with this one came a little bit easier, but I don't think it was the best for the space. I think I could have came up with something a little bit better, but either way, I will say this: when I was building in this world and using all the items that came with Island Living, I realized how cheap a lot of the items are, and I actually really enjoy that part about this. This home is a really big home. I mean, 3 bedrooms, it's on a 30 by 20 lot, and usually for a 30 by 20 lot, I'm looking at least 90,000 simoleons. And while I was actually building, I was like, oh, this is super cheap and this is cheaper. So I really appreciate that aspect. I think that's something that some haven't really commented on, but a lot of the items are really cheap. So I appreciate that just for gameplay aspect. Sometimes your Sims can't afford, $100,000 tub, or, like the crazy over exaggerated expensive items that came with Get Famous. It's super unachievable for a sim if you are playing just completely without any cheats, as base as you can get. It's really hard to achieve all that. So I really appreciate that. So if you are looking for an expansion other than City Living that has cheap items, I would highly recommend this one. You can build a really beautiful home in Sulani with just a couple of items, and it'll look really well put together. For the kitchen, I went a little bit more blue, and that's what made me change all the doors in this build. And then for the living room, I did a little bit more of a pinky and cream type of look to it, which it's a little girly, but Kai is the only male sim in this household, and I figured that because his sister Kalina and her friend Lonnie live with him, I don't really think he has a choice. So his room ended up being a lot darker and just just a contrast really, and kind of make his room apart from the rest of the home. This is kind of his space to do whatever type of furniture he would like. So I did go a little bit darker. I did give him this postered bed. It's like a one postered bed. Really, really beautiful with all the sheer curtains everywhere. I went with the dark swatch that came with it. And I love this lamp that came with it. I just think it's so cool. It comes in a lot of cool swatches. His room is a little bit harder for me to decorate just because I didn't want his room to get lost in all of the black. So I'm really glad that I stuck with like a green swatch for his bed because it definitely separated a lot. Like you just saw, I gave him the guitar and also the camera that they can take underwater and take pictures of. What I will say though is that all the pictures that your sim can take are, once you put in, I think it's bb.show hidden objects, all of the pictures come up, so no matter what part of the ocean you're in, you're gonna get the same couple of photos every single time, which is a little disappointing, but it's not something that's so surprising with The Sims. They do it very often. There's some base game ones that do this, but either way. And I was gonna do this 2 different wallpapers for his bedroom, but I ended up switching it just to the all leafed one, which I think that update was really cool because now we can use the stuff if you have it from Jungle Adventure to some of the, we got a couple of like cabana style free furniture from an update, so that also works really well with this. And this is actually Kalina's bedroom. Hers is, I would say, a little bit bigger than Lonnie's, but Lonnie's it's more of an awkward shape, and I feel really bad because she really didn't have any space for anything. So I had to go a little bit smaller with her items, but I would say Kalina's is probably my favorite. She has a lot of really great items in her room. I went with this light blue swatch and for the curtains, and I think I'm going to be using these curtains a lot. They're just awesome. They work really, really well with a lot of different swatches that came with the game. And Kalina, just an FYI, has the bro trait, child of the island, and she's romantic, and her life aspiration is the beach life one, the newest one that came with Island Living. And oh my god, this rug completely matches with the bed. I think it's so cool that I can use all these different items and they still work really well together. So I'm really happy that they kept that in mind, that all the swatches should actually work really well with these new items that we received. She has a lot more plants, I would say, in her room than the other two. I don't know why, I just felt like she needed more plants, so I gave her a bunch. And I think she's the only one other than Kai that has a dresser in their room. I don't think I gave one to Lonnie whatsoever. But there is other options, obviously. You can take out the desk. There is a computer in this home, and it's only in Lonnie's bedroom, which was a choice that I kind of made just because I didn't want every single sim in this house to have their own computer. I didn't really feel like it was necessary. There's going to be so many crazy awesome things to do on the beach that I can't imagine that they would want to spend much time on their computer, but it's definitely there if your sims need it. And I gave her a lot more paintings in her room as well, I would say, compared to the other two. She has the least amount of windows, so it only makes sense for her to have a little bit more wall space and more areas to kind of fill up. But other than that, for this household, I would say that the clutter aspect of all the things isn't as heavy as I usually do, especially in my next build that I'm going to be doing that I've been working on. I'm almost done with it. I'm finished with the build. I'm just editing the video now. There's going to be a lot more clutter in that household just because it is a smaller lot. And for Lonnie's room, I was going to use another island living bed, but I decided that since she moved into their home, she probably just brought really cheap furniture with her, so I decided to give her this bed from City Living, and there is the laptop. So I gave her a laptop, so if any of the Sims on the lot want to borrow the laptop for whatever reason, they definitely can put it in their inventory and it'll work just fine. And I went a little bit more blue and yellow with her room, like a teal and yellow, which is like a representation of her clothing. It's very more blue than Kalina's. And what I really love about this world is how authentic it is to the, like, just the overall atmosphere of the whole entire world is just like so pure and honest that I really, really like that they took up some attributes of Samoan and Polynesian cultures to kind of bring it all together. What I will say though is that it's not very much interactive with the culture. Like, there are some things that you learn, but I think with Jungle Adventure we learned a lot more about the history of Selva Dorada than we do this culture, which is a little disappointing. I was really interested to see how your Sims can kind of immerse themselves within, you know, the culture, but that you don't really see it with this one. And it could possibly be because they were focused more on the fact that we can go into the ocean and be mermaids. I have no idea, but altogether though, this is a really solid expansion. I think that if you build a lot, this is a really good one to have, just because you get just a whole different set of not just furniture items, but a lot more just different styles. You get, you know, different wood textures. You get some really decorative pieces that are very well detailed. And yeah, so for her room, I went with this really bright, like fluorescent green wallpaper. And I'm really glad I did. I was very hesitant while I was making this one that it wasn't going to work, but it worked really well. And honestly, during gameplay, it looks really, really awesome. And I just put a couple of things here on top of her. It's like a little corner desk. It's very small, but it works. And I just give her this rug with the llamas on it, or I don't know if they're llamas. They look more like goats. But if it's not a llama, it's a little bit weird for it not to be The Sims. And in terms of the bathroom, I kind of was a little frustrated just because this bathroom we didn't get a toilet, and I don't know why. I really don't understand why. It just makes no sense to me. I know we have a lot, but the fact that we got a shower and a tub and a sink, but no toilet, it makes no sense to me. So it's really hard let me tell you, it's really hard to find a toilet that matches. And especially if you don't have the other packs. I think fitness stuff would work really well with this one. You get a whole bathroom set with that one. Again, it's a stuff pack and it got a whole bathroom set, but this one didn't. I'm not sure. I know that they said that the whole counter situation is something that they're definitely going to change. They're going to I think they're going to add in islands and things like that, but they never mentioned anything about the toilet, so I don't think they're going to fix it. It's just a little frustrating, especially, you know, fitness stuff isn't really one that a lot of people purchase, so if you don't have that, base game kind of works, but it does look a little bit awkward. I did end up using a base game toilet for it, but I don't think it's the best option. But either way, I think the living room is probably one of my favorite rooms. I used this one from Movie Hangout stuff, this little extra table, and it matched really well with that cream and pink type of living room aspect kind of style that I was going for. And these sconces are so cute. They're so tiny, but they have this little glass fixture on them that I think really adds to that different type of style. You know, it's something that we don't have, and I really appreciate when we get items that we don't normally get. And for this one, since we don't get any islands, I don't do any. I figured that it'd be a little bit more of a tight squeeze for this house to have indoor seating to eat. So the only place to eat is going to be outside. So if it's raining, they're probably going to have to sit on the couch and just eat. And I'm okay with that. It doesn't really bother me, but there was just not enough space. And if my Sims can't walk around and they kind of do that little weird thing where they kind of like glitch a little bit every time they walk through a room, it's a little unnerving for me. So I'm okay with it, but if you definitely want to change it, it's up on my gallery on my Origin ID, which is Build 7. And you can go on there and download it and place it on this lot or a different 30 by 20. I don't know, I haven't tried this yet. I wonder how it is when you put a island living home, because I know you have the stilt foundations with base game either way, but if you put island living, like a home from there off the ocean, how well does it generate in like Willow Creek, let's just say, for example? I haven't tested that out, so if you do, let me know. Yeah, let me know what you guys think how it looks and things like that, just because I'm a little bit worried to kind of just strictly build in Sulani and not build anymore in other worlds, just because, you know, not everybody's going to have this expansion right away. I think that a lot of people are going to wait for it to go on sale, which is a very smart decision. It's very, very smart. It is a little expensive, you know, to keep buying expansions every time they come out, but, you know, let it be known that it always goes on sale at some point or another, and you never have to wait like a year for it to go on sale. It goes on sale pretty quickly within the first 6 months of it being out. Usually Origin or Steam will have a sale, so look out for that if you can. And for over here, I do like a little kind of seating area with a chess table. I know you need the logic skill for the conservationist career, so definitely that little chess table is going to help out. And here I put out the boat that I really, really love that we got with the expansion. It just like tied the whole home together. I really, really love that one. I had my Sims play with it a little bit, and I was just so blown away how cool it looks and how much fun your Sims have on it. One thing I will say about this build is the fact that that meditation pedestal that's on top of the glass overlook, or underlook, I guess, that one, it doesn't work that way. And I re-uploaded this home just because I realized that didn't work, and then I didn't do any wall, you know, light fixtures, so I had to fix that. So it is on there twice. Depending on whichever you want to download, there's not real difference other than there's some light fixtures in the second one. Something I always forget, especially when I do speed builds. If I just do a build, just to do a build, and I don't post it, which just doesn't happen anymore, I always end up forgetting the lights. Just because I don't record it, I always take it out just because I'm always in the top view and it just looks weird, and I know it's not the most pleasing sight to see when you're watching a video, so I never film it, and so I forget about it a lot. But the second one that's up there, that is the one to download if you want to see how I did all the wall fixtures and the light fixtures above. All of those things will be in there. And for out here, I was gonna do something else. I was gonna actually put that little bench thing to eat at, the park bench. I decided against it just because it didn't really make any sense, so I actually put it off to the side, so if they ever want to eat there, they can definitely do that. And so I just stick with some chairs from movie hangout, and also some little chairs that we got with Island Living that I think are so cute. They're so tiny. They work really well in any space. I think they're going to be some universal type of chairs to use. And for landscaping, I go a little bit basic, but I do show you guys what it is. But other than that, I think the screenshots are going to roll through, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this build. Definitely leave a comment and a like down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!